Hello, I'm April Frelke, and it's my pleasure to bring you the best of hometown life every week. Well, we start our program off with a contest and fundraiser for the Tomah Area Community Theater. Please welcome to our program Dr. Bridget Owens to tell us all about the fundraiser and contest all in one night.
Yes.
Doctor. Well, thank you for joining us, Dr.
Yes, thank
Owens.
you for having me. So it is the last Thursday in March. So it's March 31st. And it starts at 6 p.m. and it's over at the Tomah Area Community Theater, which is 907 Kilbourne Avenue. And we are going to have the Mr. Legs competition.
In person?
Yes, the legs are in person.
Okay.
Yes, I know. It's an event that's hosted by the Tomah Area Community Theater, but it is being sponsored by our two amazing sponsors, State Farm Insurance and the Fitness Connection, both in Tomah. So they are sponsoring the show. And we are definitely going to put the fun in fundraising at this event.
That sounds
I know.
fun.
So we've got a whole list of contestants, and they're going to have 2 minutes to perform their favorite. It was so funny when we met with them, and we said, okay, guys, we are going to ask you to perform for 2 minutes. And I mean, they all just sort of... So they can do it, though. It'll be a very painful 2 minutes for them, but they'll have fun.
Okay, so
They'll
they're
have
performing on stage
Yes.
in the theater?
No, we're setting up our Gatsby room, our big room upstairs.
Okay.
Now, what's going to happen is the hour prior to the Mr. Legs competition is going to be a Taste of Tomah. And we have, but wait, I have the information. Okay. At 6 o'clock, we're going to have Baker's Table, the Break Room, Culver's, Humbird Cheese, Moulter's Deli, Murray's on Main, Papa Murphy's, and Peking. So come hungry. And so they are going to have various samplings for you to sample in the big downstairs room. So you'll do that when you come in at 6. And then as we start to get closer to 7 o'clock, we'll bring everybody upstairs for the Mr. Legs competition. And then, let's see, okay, so that's at 7 after the, and let's see, then following the Mr. Legs after they perform, then we have a little bit of entertainment while we count the votes. Oh yeah. And then
it is a contest.
It is a contest because then they will be crowned Mr. Legs and they will have their traveling trophy to take home. And, to get tickets. Tickets are $30. You can go online, tomahact.com, and you can get your tickets. It's really very easy to maneuver and get your tickets. Even my little self could do it, so you can do it. If you decide the last minute to go, they're $35 at the door. And we do have a limited number of tickets available. So if you're thinking you're going to go online, tomahact.com, and get your tickets. And let's say you can't make it, okay? It's just you can't go that night. You can go on tomahact.com and you see that you really like Wes Revels, our Monroe County Sheriff, and you want to vote for him, you can click on the donate button and you can donate online. So you don't have to be at the event to donate for him.
That's a nice virtual,
yes.
Stay at
very
home.
Very 2022.
It is very 2022. Wow.
And the winner is chosen by the amount of cash in their money bucket. So votes are counted in cash. So you can cast your votes now to assure a win for your favorite contestant. And another thing is, those of you who do come to the event, let's say you notice that one of the guys is really getting a lot of whoops from the crowd, right? And you're thinking, they might beat my contestant that I want to win. Well, what you can do is put a bunch of quarters in his bucket, because the quarters will remove votes from his bucket. Are you following me?
I am following you.
Okay.
What else is in the bucket besides quarters?
Well, hopefully lots of checks made out to ACT.
Oh, okay. So silver subtracts votes.
Correct.
Any silver.
Right. So
even
the quarters.
Okay.
So the quarters will remove votes from that bucket.
That paper money.
Right. So
currency.
A little gameplay going on there.
Okay. Wow.
So would you like to know who the contestants are?
Let's get to the contestants.
Do it. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to do this in the order that they are going to perform.
Okay. Here we go.
Mark Moulter from Moulter's Market.
Okay.
He's our very first one. Jeff Breesky, he's going to be representing Eupraxia Gym. Luke Brickle from the Baker's Table. We have Wes Revels, our very own Monroe County Sheriff. Dan Smithberg from Rockland Flooring. Jeff Holthouse, who's the owner of State Farm Insurance in Tomah and Neelsville, who's also a sponsor. Harold Haberlin is going to be representing Chasing Daylight Animal Shelter. I heard he's performing to Who Let the Dogs Out.
Of course.
Mike Krause is the owner of the Fitness Connection in Tomah, who's also a sponsor. And Joe Kelly is going to be representing CCF Bank. And Marty Murphy from Brennigans in Tomah. Those are our contestants.
That's quite a few.
I know. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see what I know what songs they're all going to perform to, so I can't wait to see how they're going to they're going to do.
Incorporate that with their 2-minute dance performance or whatever they're going to.
Whatever it is that they wish to do to show off those legs.
That's really nice. You're doing it in the Gatsby room to really kind of get your I don't know, audience. Like, what's the word?
Yeah, kind of up close and personal. You know, it's like they'll be right there.
Yeah, and show off the building because there's other rooms other than just the stage.
Right. We do have 2 really lovely rooms, and one of them is going to be for the Taste of Tomah, and then the other one will be for the Mr.
So the
Legs.
last Thursday of this month.
Last Thursday of this month,
March
6
31st.
o'clock, March 31st. Come over to the Area Community Theater. Go online and get your tickets, tomahact.com. And if you can't be there, vote for your favorite contestant.
And what's coming up for the ACT, Bridget?
Oh, well, funny you should ask.
Yes.
There's a show coming up the 2 weekends right after Mother's Day, and it's called Marrying Walt. And yours truly and your very own...
I think our Skeezicks.
Skeezicks is going to be, he's Walt. And I'm his Mary, who wants to marry him. We have fun. We have fun in rehearsal, so it should be a really fun show. And of course, you know, you've got Walt's kids involved, and you know, we live in a trailer park in Florida, and of course, you have your trailer park friends.
Now, a little birdie, maybe Dr. Bridget Owens yourself told me something about the writer of the script is coming up.
He's going to be there for opening night.
Yeah.
The actual author of the play is going to be there. No pressure at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun. So the 2 weekends after Mother's Day. So it's like May 12th through the 22nd.
And that's all on your website, too?
Yes.
All that information for the
Tomah
upcoming
ACT,
show.
yes.
Well, your fundraiser does sound fun.
Yes.
I really like the Taste of Tomah, how you're incorporating that before,
Yep,
you know,
before
get
the
people
event.
socializing, get them ready to spend some money.
And we're hoping that it'll really be successful, and we'll probably look at doing it maybe every other year, something like that, and keep everybody wanting more.
All right, well, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Good luck. Well, catering for cast and crew has been provided by Strike Zone and Pizzones in Tomah. Great food with fun for the whole family. Skeezicks is next, but first we want to thank our sponsors.
Hometown Life has been brought to you by Lynx Networks, Oakdale Credit Union, Torkelson Funeral Home, Hardware Hank in New Lisbon, The Little Cottage Home Decor and more, The Fun Company Game Room Store.
All right, get set for the story of my life.
Fiction or non-fiction?
Get a move on, girls. Train's waiting.
You're right. Absolutely right.
Which view would you prefer?
The one you're blocking.
It only took brains, courage, and a gun, and I had the gun.
John, if it's worth dying for, it's worth living for.
It's been a long day.
Mom, what's for dinner?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I really don't feel like cooking, so...
The best pizza? Look at that crust and cheese. Amazing burgers and steaks. Just the way I like it. Food the whole family loves. That's our specialty. And don't forget, 12 lanes of bowling fun and a huge game room. Rain or shine, always a great time. Strike Zone and Pizzones in Tomah.
Tomah Health is dedicated to compassionate, quality care for our community.
To me, quality care means always going the extra mile. At Tomah Health, we do the little things to make a big difference.
Our staff is taking extra precautions, like offering video visits, virus screening, social distancing, and rigorous disinfecting protocols. Due to extraordinary numbers of patients, please expect extra wait times. We appreciate your understanding and apologize for delays.
Tomah Health, together in care.
The Oakdale Credit Union has spent decades serving Oakdale, Mauston, and Reedsburg. From comprehensive financial services to reliable mortgage loans, we strive to provide unparalleled care.
I like the warm and friendly atmosphere each and every time I come in. The staff is very knowledgeable and truly cares about its members.
Come and learn more about the Oakdale Credit Union, where we treat you like a member of the family.
Hardware Hank knows you have projects, lots of important projects, from paint to plumbing, electrical, and yard maintenance. We have the area's largest selection of Milwaukee tools. Hey, it's what the pros use. We even have an in-store chainsaw sharpening service. It's time to build your property's value with Hardware Hank New Lisbon.
You've got a lot more going for you with Hank, Hardware Hank.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
Well, welcome to Skeezicks. I'm Jerry Fucianis. And for the first time since we began, I would like to introduce to you the guy who has a solution to every problem, Mr. Scott Wilcox.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Scott, what are you wearing? Scott, who are you wearing this evening?
Scott Wilcox Ensemble tonight, just so you know.
It's very flattering.
ScottWilcox.com. Not that I'm advertising.
No. Well, thanks for being here with us, Scott. Can you give us a little something?
Oh, sure. This is a little something by Jim Croce.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thanks, Scott. We're going to come back to you in just a minute.
Oh.
But so anyway, what I wanted to tell you was tonight on my way to the studio, I was listening to the news, and on the radio I heard that the Senate had just passed a bill to make daylight savings time permanent. Now, that's right. There's not going to be any more falling back or jumping forward. You'll have one time all the time. And if we can't jump back and fall forward, what are we going to do for exercise? You know, it's funny because it's true. Lately, it's been hard to find areas where both sides of the aisle are in support of one thing. So it's always of particular interest to me when we find that there's bipartisan support for something like this. You know, it seems that they're planning on giving us an hour more of sunshine every day throughout the entire year. But of course, you know you can't actually make time, because if you could, Congress would either find a way to tax it or it would become so expensive to do inflation that none of us could afford it. Oh, thank you, Scott. Okay, speaking of time, did you know when daylight savings time actually began? Well, recently, I had heard that it was about 1918. And I found this quote that's attributed to an Italian restaurant owner in America who said, "Only the government could believe that you could cut a foot off the top of your tablecloth and then sew it to the bottom of your tablecloth and have a longer tablecloth." Nothing? Come on. That is my best Italian Russian accent that I can do. But you see, there's only one problem. The bill has to go through the House. And with all the talk in the world right now about World War III and nuclear war, it would seem that a great way for us to save the Earth from Russian annihilation would be to get that hour back to ensure that we have the tactical advantage.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, in my head, that one was good. All right.
As long as it stays in your head, you're fine.
Oh, too soon?
Yeah, it's too soon.
Too soon for nuclear jokes? All right. There's a lot going on in the world today. In fact, things are moving so fast that most Americans think that President Biden is on his third term.
Oh.
You know, when it feels like it's been a long time, chances are it has been. But all the news this week wasn't bad. The good news is that this week we've learned that we could stand with the Ukraine by simply purchasing a $125,000 electric vehicle. And at the same time, you would save money at the pump. So don't think too hard on this, but basically the electric vehicle costs about $80,000 more than your gas guzzler. And by not going to the pump as often, you would save money. So it would take approximately 100 years for you to actually start making money.
Yeah. It makes sense if you don't do the math.
Yeah? Well, we got a great show for you tonight. A special guest, Nancy Vandemir of the 70th District, is here with us. She's been fighting for the people of Wisconsin since January of 2015. In just a moment, we'll talk to her about some of the challenges that she and her colleagues have been working on in Madison. But first, Scott Wilcox.
And he's bad, Leroy Brown is the baddest man in the whole dang town. Badder than the OK Kong and meaner than the junkyard dog. And he's bad, Leroy Brown is the baddest man in the whole damn town. Badder than the OK Kong.
Half the people in the world are women. Why does it have to be you that stirs me?
If it's worth dying for, it's worth living for.
I think you're hiding something from me.
I'm at my wit's end.
Yeah, I passed there an hour ago.
Ready? I got that big ticket. But ain't as tough as a day. That is a flamingo.
I'm sure modern civilized methods of homicide are much more efficient.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Daddy! Oh, Daddy!
Tomah Health is dedicated to compassionate, quality care for our community.
To me, quality care means always going the extra mile. At Tomah Health, we do the little things to make a big difference.
Our staff is taking extra precautions, like offering video visits, virus screening, social distancing, and rigorous disinfecting protocols. Due to extraordinary numbers of patients, please expect extra wait times. We appreciate your understanding and apologize for delays.
Tomah Health, together in care.
What's the more in the Little Cottage home decor and more? Fashion. Shopping is fun at the Little Cottage. Update your look and discover more at the Little Cottage home decor and more, New Lisbon.
It's been a long day.
Mom, what's for dinner? Yeah, I'm hungry.
I really don't feel like cooking, so...
The best pizza? Look at that crust and cheese. Amazing burgers and steaks. Just the way I like it. Food the whole family loves. That's our specialty. And don't forget, 12 lanes of bowling fun and a huge game room. Rain or shine, always a great time. Strike Zone and Pizzone's in Tomah.
This hot tub is so relaxing. The stress of the week just melts away.
Hanging out with friends is fun.
And we have so many reasons to get together.
My Traeger grill is the difference between a good
and an amazing barbecue.
The Fun Company Game Room Store
is where the fun begins.
The Oakdale Credit Union has spent decades serving Oakdale, Mauston, and Reedsburg. From comprehensive financial services to reliable mortgage loans, we strive to provide unparalleled care.
I like the warm and friendly atmosphere each and every time I come in. The staff is very knowledgeable and truly cares about its members.
Come and learn more about the Oakdale Credit Union, where we treat you like a member of the family.
Welcome back to Skeezicks. You know, Scott, I really do appreciate you being with us tonight. You know, I was reading today, I thought this was good, that Harvey Weinstein was just busted in jail yesterday for having milk duds smuggled into him. And the best part of it is he's still in the LA County jail.
It's not uncommon. I get busted for having treats with my wife all the time.
That's probably what you needed to see there, yeah, right? Well, our guest tonight is a longtime Tomah native, a businesswoman and a Wisconsin assemblywoman. Please welcome to the program, Nancy Vandemir.
Good evening.
Hi, thanks. Oh, we could do that all night. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Nancy. I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule.
Well, it's delightful to be here.
Well, thank you.
And with live music, what a treat.
At least semi-live, yeah.
Only half live.
A professional.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
You. Thank you, Scott.
Very much appreciate it. You know, and to say that you've been busy would be an understatement. There's been a lot going on in Madison. What's been happening in your world?
In my world? Well, as you well know, one of the real joys that I have in serving the people of Wisconsin is our relationship to increasing access to health care. And so this past year, I had authored a couple of bills that allow for for example, we have an occupational therapy compact bill that was just written into law, signed into law by the governor. And what it allows for, and without getting too technical about it, it allows for interstate licensure for occupational therapists. And the reason why it's important is because when we have people like occupational therapists transfer to Wisconsin from another state, they can immediately practice.
Yeah.
And they can also practice through things like telemedicine. And you know, just a moment ago, we saw some examples from Tomah Health. And they were showing that. And that's one of the things that has been, as you well know, one of the other ways that we can create access for our patients is through telemedicine, and that became very evident during the pandemic. And the reason why that's important, access, yes, is important, especially in our rural areas, especially in our underserved areas. But when you have better access, you have better outcomes.
Absolutely.
Because the sooner that a patient can be treated in just a myriad of different diseases, as you all know, they have better outcomes. And that's better for our communities. They can return back to their lifestyle, get back to work and their families, and all the things that makes them live their best life.
Absolutely. And Wisconsin historically has been a very forward-leaning state when it comes to legislation that allows that type of practice to occur. So that was real exciting to hear about. You also had a lot going on throughout the year, too, with other things.
Yes, we did. And, you know, I give you an idea what my district is like. I represent the 70th district. And that district is about 90 miles long.
Oh.
And all of us in the state assembly, there's 99 of us, we represent about 57,000 people, each of us. And so when you say my district is 90 miles long, it means there's a lot of people spread out.
Sure.
And so my two largest cities are Tomah and Sparta. And I represent portions of Monroe County, Jackson County, Wood County, and Portage County. Tomah and Sparta are my two largest cities. The next largest is Nakusa.
Okay.
And that's about 2,500. Pittsville, and that's 800. And by the way, that is the smallest actual designated city in the state of Wisconsin.
Really?
And it is also the geographic center of the state. And there is a marker there that we officially installed when I was state representative. We did that a couple of years ago. So there's an official marker there. And so that gives you an idea of the rural nature of our district. So many times we do some technical type bills. There was a bill that helps some of our small villages when they have to do, I know this sounds kind of technical, but replacing, for example, water meters in these small villages. And the reason why it was important was they were required by law to go through like an engineering or permitting process. It became quite costly. So we corrected that so they can do that. And then for the paper industry, we did an inspection bill for a large piece of equipment that's used in paper making. And they have to do an annual inspection prior to our law. What we did, we allowed for a significant testing and passing of a very high criteria standard for that equipment, and it would allow them not to have to do it annually. They could do it semi-annually every 2 years. And the reason why that's important is it would save that, say, average paper mill maybe several $1 million to their bottom line. So that's very important to Wisconsin's legacy paper industry, but then, of course, those small communities as well. So that's the way, the real joy that I get in serving and solving some of these problems.
But you have fun too, right?
Oh, I do.
So what kind of fun do you have doing this?
The joy, and I will digress a little bit.
But by all means.
If you knew my parents, my dad always talked about his customers, that he served them. And that's the way I look at the legislature. I find the real joy is serving people and helping to make their lives better, interacting with them, all different types of people in all different types of situations, helping our constituents to solve problems, things that we can improve through the work we do in our state, maybe connecting them with the right department to get the answer that they need, and so that they can move on and, like I said, live their best life.
Well, it's funny that you bring up your family, specifically your father, because in spending time this week reading about you, I spoke to a couple of people, and one of the persons I spoke to, although I've never met your family outside of you, they spoke of your father in most glowing terms. But one of the things that she had said was, what she knew was your dad was so proud of one thing that you had done. I mean, many things, but the one thing he was most proud of was you were the first female GM dealer owner?
Well, here in Tomah, I was. Yeah. And when I completed my career with General Motors, I was one of 265 female dealers nationwide out of a total dealer body of 6,000.
Wow.
So that was very unique. And I completed my service in 2010. And so I love that business. I think my dad, he really instilled that in me. And my dad was really a role model for me. He built Indy cars.
He did.
So we're kind of digressing once again. And so we would always be interested in what was going on with Indy and so on. And I can remember one race in particular we were watching. And he said, Nancy, he said, there's Janet Guthrie. Take a look. She's the first female auto driver in the Indy 500. And I'll never forget that conversation. It was very young, and my dad always encouraged me and inspired me. It didn't matter, just try your best, try new things, and take that adventure on.
Wow, so you don't have to do this, you choose to.
That's right.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
So what's next?
Well, this is a campaign year, of course.
It is.
It is. So there are always bills that are not, sometimes bills take several sessions before they're signed into law. And when we have a campaign year, we start again the next year. Hopefully I'm reelected. Hopefully the people of the 70th District rehire me, and that's what we always say. And there are some bills that, of course, I would like to work on, some new ideas, and we begin that process all over again, which means we draft the bills. We get involved with the stakeholders that this will relate to. And then, of course, it gets assigned to a committee that relates to that nature of that bill.
Sure.
There's public hearings, and then an executive hearing. If it passes the executive hearing, our leadership gets it, and then it may be assigned for a vote onto the assembly floor. And if I can say one thing that I think is so important, as a legislature, I'm always concerned about where our constituents, the most important people in the process, where do they access our government, our new bills, our laws, prior to them becoming laws. And I want to say, public hearings, when they are available on a bill that someone shares an interest in, any of our constituents, they can literally come to Wisconsin, or I should say to Madison, the day of the hearing, come in the building, sign up, and they can let their opinion on that particular bill be known. So I encourage that. They can also write letters. They can also just share their support or their opposition to a bill that's being heard.
That's fantastic, and people do take advantage of that, and it's greatly appreciated. Nancy, we very much appreciate all that you've done for this community and for the state of Wisconsin.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. That's our show for this week. We want to thank you for watching Hometown Life, where we are connecting you to the community. We'll be leaving with Scott Wilcox. Thanks, Scott.
I hear that train coming, rolling round the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging on, but that train keeps rolling on down to San Antonio.
It's fun.